Hello everybody and welcome to this Game & Watch for Sega Ages Virtua Racing. I am Dan and oh my goodness, I'm so excited. For a little bit of context though, I am not the greatest at Virtua Racing. Back in the day I used to play this a lot. I was never all that great at it. But that was back in the day and we're here now. And goodness, with tons of options here to see. Single play, online match, offline match, ranking, play, replay, manual, which doesn't really work in Europe or North America, so that's kind of irrelevant for this video, and staff credits. So, to point a few things out, single play is just a regular arcade experience. You have 3 tracks, and you ride. And try to get through the gates as quickly as possibly can, because if you run out of time, the race ends just there. You see a helper option at the bottom. That helper option will allow you to turn off all collision with the CPU cars. So that way you won't be hit by anybody. I think that also works if you're playing online against others, where you can just turn the collision off and just have a plain old race to the finish who is quickest. The only downside to this, and there's only just one, is if you turn on helper mode, that will not be uploaded to the rankings, your results at least. Your results will not be there. They will be there locally, so you can see how well you did on every single lap, but online only helper off scores count. Online match, we'll try that in a little bit. I didn't have the greatest of luck, especially since it's now, what is it, almost 3 AM in Japan, so I don't think we'll get a match going during this video. Don't quote me on that though. And offline match, which I haven't even tried, I'm not sure if it will work, especially with going to the 8 player option, but hey, we'll see. Interesting for 2 player, I just found this out while setting this up. You can actually flip the screen in handheld mode and each have either side of a screen. Pretty crazy. Ranking, as I just told, you can go online and see what the best times are. Let me see if this works. You can even watch their replays, which is pretty crazy. Tons of times there already. That too. People have been loving it. So we have our replays. I only have 1 replay safety, which was my first race ever, which I did online, which was pretty great. Manual once again, and then staff credits. Then we have the options. You can play a normal race, or if you are pretty daring, you can do a Grand Prix race of 20 laps, which will keep you busy for a while. It doesn't really matter either way what you do, because the time limit is pretty strict, so you need to stay on track as much as you possibly can. The 5 difficulty modes: easiest, easy, normal, hard, and hardest. We'll keep it on normal. If you were playing on Grand Prix, you could change the color of your car, but sadly we're not. Language, English or Japanese. Controls: gas is A, B is brake, VR button, which changes the camera angle is X. Y is the gas pedal. We're playing automatic, but if you were playing manual, then shift down and shift up are ZL and ZR respectively. I didn't want to quit there. Let's go back. Motion sensor. You can do motion sensing, but then it will change into the arcade controls. So we'll move them back. And then you also have an analog accelerator. Pretty cool. Then we have BGM volume, sound effect volume, and of course your music player, which you find in any of these games, to listen back any tracks that you particularly like. Beautiful. So let's go into a single player match. For the sake of this video, we'll keep helper mode on. Only said this now because I randomly decided to just press A and go, and not thinking about turning helper mode on or off. Hey, who cares? Oops, I kept it in Japanese. Well, we'll deal with it for now. I can change it back later. It doesn't really matter at the end of things. Because basically this is a game without text anyway. So basically the controls are pretty straightforward once again. A is gas, B is brake. You will see me using the brake a bit more often than you maybe would like. Because the handling of this game is good. But it's very twitchy and I always have to get it down a little bit when I start back up and playing it again. Because I'm too used to modern games now to fully get a grasp of it at the start when I start recording these things. But it's great, you know. It's it just feels very nice. When we get back to the long stretch for the next lap, I will show you the various camera angles because those are very interesting as well. Obviously, like I told you, the time limit on these is very strict. There's a countdown timer always going, and the way they approach this is when you hit a checkpoint, it will replenish your time somewhat. If you crash, the timer just keeps going. So you need to make as minimal mistakes as you possibly can do. Anyway, let's do this. Zoom further out. And super close. Look at that. And then, back to normal. There you go. So we're now on lap 3 and with 4th position. I think that's a pretty good place to be. Obviously what I'm usually going for is a third place at minimum. Anything better I'd take. It would obviously be nice to, say, make it to first place at one point. I see the 3 head cars in front of me, so it's not crazy to assume that I might make it. Once again, look at that gigantic camera angle here. It's pretty great. 3rd place, that's very nice. I take that at the very least. You also see that also the other cars will go through the CPUs, or through each other for that matter. So the game does keep it in track and it just makes for faster lap times in general by all parties involved. Oh boy. Wanted to cut him off, but I it costed me a little bit. Hopefully I can still make it. Want to play it a little bit daring, but I'm not sure if daring was a good idea here. We're doing okay though, not great. Made a few mistakes in the early going, so I'm a bit worried that we might not make the finish line. Oh my god! Last second! No freaking way! There is actually no way! There's actually no freaking way! All those low poly models. Produced by Sega. And a beautiful game over sound. Congratulations, well thank you. DK and then a dot. I'm first in the leaderboards, everyone. I did it. Oh my god, that was amazing though. Didn't think we would end there with a victory. That was sort of nuts. Anyway, I am not confident that we'll get an online match going, but we'll try. Let's see. So I've been sitting here for 2 minutes. It doesn't seem we're getting an online match here. Which is unfortunate because I really wanted to show you. The picture-in-picture stuff between people in the race is really cool. And honestly deserves to be showcased. For the time being, this is a clip I recorded through the record button on my Switch. So the frame rate will be lower. And it'll also be in 720p. But this is what it a bit looks like. You will notice that the frame rate is somewhat solid, but mostly that the audio is a bit choppy. And this comes down to the lag in the online gameplay. This game is only out in Japan, it's not out in Western people, so I couldn't connect to them, and that caused this issue. But for the rest, it played quite nicely, to be honest. And we're still waiting here while you were watching that clip. Unfortunately, this is a bust for the moment, and I think that's a shame, because I really wanted to show you this. But maybe we'll revisit this at some point, who knows. Finally, we have the almighty offline match mode, which can be played with up to 8 people. So I think it will only work with the amount of controllers I have lying around here at the moment, which is free. But for the sake of this, shall we press 8? I am shocked this works. Okay. I didn't really expect this. Weirdly enough, my Pro Controller, which I'm playing this Game Watch with, is disconnected. So I guess I can only play with one of these separated Joy-Con. Oh yeah, they're turned on here. Crazy. But look at that, wow. 8 perspectives on the race. Can you see this? Are you watching this right now? This is 2019. We're playing a 1992 racing game on Switch in this specific matter. I couldn't be more stoked. Oh, they were all waiting for entries here. Which is not gonna happen. It's straight up like the... what is it? The arcade UI. Are they all 7 for the rest just gonna stand there? Or are they all CPUs? Oh my goodness. No flipping way. Well, this is one way to play a video game. That's just crazy. No boy. Wow. Just wow. I'm really, in a weird way, I'm really impressed by this. Let's try playing from this perspective for a moment. I'm just flabbergasted by how well this works with a separated Joy-Con. I shouldn't be, but I absolutely am. The throttle just gets kinda wonky though, I will give you that. Well, that was good. That was very good. Let's turn on the Pro Controller back on. Yeah, that was incredible. Finally, I'm going to show you what you can do with your replays. So let's replay this data. This is actually of that online match that I showed you earlier. Let's go to live. We can actually change the camera angle in live time, which is pretty nuts. We can skip ahead. We can zoom into different frames. And that's about your lot. Well, I forgot to check one thing. Hold up. Let me check one more thing. Oh dear, it doesn't want to do me. Okay, so the information at the right allows you to choose between if you're playing with multiple characters. And then if you can't use any of these options while you're pausing, it seems. Look at that wide perspective in Virtua Racing. Looks kind of impressive, doesn't it? But yeah, there you go. That is Virtua Racing, anybody. We're gonna press the staff credits here and wrap this up. So, obviously, the people at M2 did a great job emulating this game and bringing some additional features to this frontrunner in the racing genre. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. You're great. And stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Sega Ages games and other things gaming too. See you later, everybody. Bye.